Hey, what's up? It's Greg from Fisherman's Headquarters, and today is Tuesday, May 9th. Up here in the Mid-Island Surf, Long Beach Island, taking a stroll. Going to share an updated fishing report with all of you. This past weekend was a good one. Beautiful weather, some really good fishing went down. There were some points in times where it was a little bit on the slow side due to, in my opinion, possibly the lunar cycle coming off of that, around that moon. But we're a few days past it, fishing's picking up. Fishing's been pretty good the last couple days. Striped bass here, bluefish, a couple weakfish, and fluke fishing's been pretty good. As far as striped bass action goes, I know this morning, a good friend of mine, Kurt, Barnegat Light, he's kind of an early morning guy, morning bird, always gets the worm. He had a beautiful 40+ inch bass today fishing the boat. He didn't actually share what he caught it on, but I know he was in the boat early this morning. He always puts a little time in here and there. I could share some bluefish just recently. I know Kelly from Surf City. She fishes a lot with her boyfriend Jeff Warford. Many of you may know him. She had some beautiful bluefish in the bay, fishing Barnegat Bay just the other day. I think that was on Sunday. There's been some big size bluefish around. That action's been taking place in the bay side. Also some off the surf and some in the inlet. As far as bluefish action goes, off the beach you're going to be chunking bunker or fishing lures. As far as off the surf fishing for striped bass, we'll be fishing clam. Can share some clam fishing reports with you just recently. Christy Cooper and her son Riley, they were fishing on the south end. She shared a message with us and said Mother's Day came early for her on Sunday. She got I think it was in the mid to low 30-inch range striped bass, beautiful striper, off the beach fishing south end clam. And then shortly thereafter, her son Riley got a fish almost same size. She caught it the twin. So they enjoyed a good day. Another report, Danny Frederico from the south end. He's down, I think he lives in Holgate. Not sure exactly where he's fishing, but probably down in his neck of the woods. And his brother Andrew. They've been catching a lot of striped bass. He shared a photo, I guess it was, I think I want to say Saturday. They both had stripers. There's 2 striped bass there. And then just yesterday, got a big black drum. Andrew got a big black drum on clam. So those would be kind of some clam reports from recently. As far as other reports that I could share, I know Brandy Hilgas was fishing the tournament this past weekend with American Anglers. I believe she won that with the largest striped bass. I'm not sure the size of it, but I would just take a ballpark and guess it's going to be probably in the 30-inch range from the photograph I saw. So there's some quick, easy local reports just here from the past, say, a couple days here on Long Beach Island off the surf. As far as the inlet, I know fluke fishing is pretty good up there. Hearing some pretty good reports from guys fishing the back bays around the sedges and the main thoroughfares, main channels. Friend Tony Butch shared a beautiful fluke he caught over the weekend. Said he got on a live minnow, fishing on the sod bank. Trying to think of other people names that might have said there was good fluking, but I can't remember off the top of my head. I've got a lot of different things going through my brain right now. But yeah, there's striped bass here, there's fluke here. Like I mentioned, a couple weakfish. Trying to think who the gentleman's name is. He stops the shop all the time. He sent in a photo of a weakfish he got off the Barnegat on the jetty. Beautiful fish, so it's awesome to see that. My apologies for not remembering your name. I think it's Rasul. I think his last name is Rasul or something like that. But sometimes the Instagram names are kind of abbreviations or cutoffs, and sometimes I see these letters in my head when I'm trying to do these reports. I don't remember the exact name, but huge shout out to you and props to you on the weakfish. They're definitely not the easiest creatures to catch, not the easiest creatures to dial in, especially land-based. So huge shout out, props for that weakfish catch. I can share right now, we got a pretty kicking northeast wind, northerly wind coming down the beaches. Surf is pretty clean. Kind of see that right behind me. It's a clean, kind of clear green. Got some beautiful white water. I'd say they got the surf more in the choppy, dicey, mixed up kind of style of swell, more wind swellish than long period swell. I think it's somewhere in the 4 to 6 second range, so it's very tight together. Kind of a sloppy condition if you were in the boat, but a beautiful condition off the surf. You can see behind me there's a little bit of a point of sand, a little bowl, and I'm kind of walking through a little bowl. I'm kind of on this ledge of the seawall here. But yeah, the surf is in the 52-degree range. Might be up a degree, might be down a degree, but somewhere right around that 52. It's about high tide right now. I'm shooting this report about 10 o'clock. I think high tide's at 11. Could be wrong on that, but that's what I recall. I'm going to take a step up here to the top of the seawall so I don't get wet, because it's kind of getting a little more vertical up here, getting a little chewed out. But yeah, I can share, like I mentioned, we got some northeast breeze here. Looks like all week we kind of got a mix of swell and winds. Going to be somewhat on the fair side, no bad weather that I see in the forecast. Looks like there's a backdoor cold front coming on Wednesday. Might have a little switch up in winds and whatnot. But I think you'll see probably in the 1 to 2, maybe 3 foot kind of range. As far as swell, probably wind swellish. No bigger ground swells coming like we had there a few days back on the weekend that I reported about. If you remember, if anybody was out fishing Friday or Saturday, even a little bit on the later day Thursday, there's a pretty good swell around. Thursday was just a few of them started showing up real late in the day. All day Friday and all day Saturday, there's a big ground swell in the water. I actually fished all of those days. I experienced some pretty good fishing. I also experienced some really slow fishing. Kind of bobbed and weaved sometimes. I probably should have bobbed when I should have weaved, and vice versa, but that's part of fishing. But I got out and had some fun on the water, caught some fish. See if I can remember some names. So Luke Warwick, I believe he's from Marlton or Medford, booked a trip with me with his 8-year-old son. I think it was Dylan. And they were stoked to get out in the water. We got out there early. I got a beautiful striped bass early on a topwater dock spook. That was a 31.5-inch striped bass. Nothing better than taking a fish on the topwater spook in the morning. It's exciting. Great way to kick off the morning, seeing a topwater strike. Topwater strike any day, any time of day is awesome. But it was a good, exciting way to start the day. And things kind of slowed down. We kind of jogged around, bounced around, checked out some different areas. Found a couple marks, but where I found some fish, it was kind of weedy. Made a couple casts and kind of gave up. In hindsight, I probably should have put in a little bit more time where I marked those fish, because I ended up bobbing and weaving and looking around and searching, trying to hunt down some better activity. And then I kind of was like, oh man, I should have went back. And then, long story short, is I ended up running up the bay a little bit, trying to look for some blues. Didn't really find any. I should have went a little further, once again in hindsight. But I also didn't want to get too far away from 2 other spots that I wanted to look at later in the day. There's only so much time in a charter. So, as far as my planning goes, I maybe should have left one spot earlier, should have ran a little further, should have, could have, would have. But it's all, 2020. Everything's always 2020 in hindsight. So that being said, yeah, we persevered. 8-year-old Dylan really fished hard. Most kids of that age class kind of give up after, say, a half hour, an hour of fishing, sometimes even 2 hours. But on a 4 or 5 hour trip, he fished hard, casting, switching up lures, trying different stuff. Really listening to what I was telling him to do, in terms of spots to cast on the rips, or where we may see, some little structure, or little differences in the water. Fishing different lures, kind of taking my suggestions in different styles and different trees, way to fish them. So definitely big props to Dylan. And he was rewarded with a beautiful bluefish late in the day. It was like right around, I think it was like, I'm like, hey guys, we got like 10, 15 minutes to fish, and we gotta head back. And sure enough, we saw a nice school of bluefish roll up on us. It was almost like a V-like formation, like you'd see a flock of birds. These bluefish came up, and the first cast actually spooked them. I can't say I remember putting a popper in on a school of bluefish cruising and spooking them before. I'm sure it's happened to me, but not in that sense. But yeah, first cast spooked them out, and they disappeared. And it was maybe a couple minutes. Those maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes, but those minutes felt like a half hour, because the excitement was so much, so high. And then it was like, where these fish go? We did another drift, and sure enough, I saw little ripples on the surface, little V-wake pattern, almost looked like a school of mullet somewhat, but obviously a little more pronounced than mullet. So I knew there was something there. I was very much expecting that to be the same school of bluefish. I don't know if it was the same or maybe it was a different school, but whatever it was bluefish nonetheless. Definitely a handful of them. I think it was probably 5, 6, maybe even 8 of them. But the one that was in the front, they were very similar formation like the first one, almost like a V. The front one was definitely kind of leading the pack in some way. I casted a little X-Wrap. I want to say it was a 10. We're looking for stripers too at the same point in time. Small little X-Wrap. I just had it ready to go. It was the first rod in my hand. I just casted it, put it maybe 5 feet in front of the first leading fish, kind of twitched it once, handed Dylan the rod. He made like maybe, I don't know, 2-3 cranks, boom, fish takes off he goes. I didn't realize how big the fish was at first. I thought, you know, maybe, oh, whatever, maybe he's got I'll just go out there and claim a 5-pound, 6-pound bluefish, you know, a good bluefish nonetheless. But little did I realize after breaking a reel seat spun on the rod, it was quite a fun pandemonium kind of fight. Had to spin the boat a couple times. Fish kind of went berserk, went all over the place. You know, bluefish do their thing. 8-year-old, he's having a blast. Dad's stoked. You know, so it was a great time. And he got up to the boat, he got in the net, took some awesome photos, and swam it. Spent some time getting it kind of revived. It was feisty, but sometimes, you know, bluefish are a little more feisty. Sometimes they're a little burned out. We spent a good, say, 10 minutes or more, maybe even 15 minutes, you know, with that fish on the side of the boat swimming it. I knew it kicked a few times. I said, oh, it's probably good to go, but, you know, let's give it another minute or two. So try to show those bluefish the same respect I show striped bass. But yeah, that's basically kind of a quick report that I can share, a little fishing that I've done recently. I'm going to dive into a separate video here, maybe now, maybe later, talking the windmill topics. I get a lot of messages about them. I get a lot of emails about them. Being on the New Jersey State Marine Fisheries Council advisory panel for offshore wind, as well as other advisory boards that they have for other things like the artificial reefs. There's a couple other ones. I think I'm on 3 of them, I think. Can't keep track of them, so many. But a lot of people ask me about what I think about wind being a recreational angler and a recreational stakeholder. Kind of went out yesterday and did a little, I guess a little survey work or surveying of survey work. So I'll dive into that in the next video. So if you want to listen to that, I'll jump into that and record that. I might not post it right away, but I'll get it up as soon as possible. So appreciate you guys following the reports here at Fisherman's Headquarters. Hopefully you're following along, you're subscribing to our YouTube page, our Instagram, our Facebook, and also be sure to check out fishinglbi.com. It's a blog. It's been going since the late 90s. I would have to say it's probably the premier fishing report blog in the area, possibly the state, possibly the region, possibly the country. I don't know. You be the determining factor of that. But I do my best to try to keep that going. I try to do fish reports, I try to do some fishing information, try to do some tackle information, and also some local charter captains that spend a lot of time in the water. They also share some information on there too. So hopefully it wasn't too windy in this walk. Hopefully it worked out. Try to get the mic here, kind of walking with the wind because it's blowing a solid 15 on my back. So hopefully it's not too windy. If it is, I apologize, but thanks for watching. Have a great day. And don't forget, stop by Fisherman's Headquarters for all your fishing needs. Located Ship Bottom, Long Beach Island. Have a great day.